Excellent. So I'll start. I'll share my screen in a moment. I will turn my camera off just to help for this because it lags otherwise, and then I'll just demonstrate. And I'll probably start with Twitter first and go from there. So 2 moments. Can everybody see my screen? Okay.
Yes, we can.
Perfect. Yep. So what we're starting with here on Twitter, and just kind of, and I appreciate you all probably know this, but it's a good place to start, is Twitter is an online news and social networking platform where people communicate via short messages called tweets. So what I'm going to do here is look at the anatomy of a Twitter profile and what and how it's made up. So if you're a user going on a profile on Twitter, you have a header image at the top, logo here, your Twitter handle, which is kind of your @address, your name, and then a very short blurb underneath here, which explains a bit about your organization. That's the top of it there. As a key tip, what's really important with any type of social media, and I think it lends itself certainly to those in the nature sector, is clear and very visual imagery. So good imagery is going to drive engagement, and that's kind of a key message I'm going to kind of disseminate throughout this talk, is that imagery is absolutely vital to good social media. So what we have here underneath a page and on the timeline here is we've got 4 options. We've got tweets, so we can see the tweets that the Tees Valley Nature Partnership have posted. We can see their tweets and replies. So if Rachel or Louise or anyone at the team for that matter has replied to a tweet, then you can see their reply there. The media, this is a way where you can just quickly see the imagery and the graphics that the Tees Valley Nature Partnership have posted. So for example, we can see here that there's an image about this workshop here. And then likes. So you can see what tweets the Tees Valley Nature Partnership have liked. And what you'll see here on the middle is, and what the Tees Valley Tees Valley Nature Partnership have done well, is you can see here that they are interacting with tweets that they've been tagged in. And this is a really good tactic to utilize. So where Twitter comes to its fore and where it's a really kind of strong platform is for events and thought leadership content. So when I'm talking about thought leadership content, I'm talking about blogs or articles written on your website expressing your view about a certain topic, or you've got a video interview, for example, as well. And what you're doing here is you can see that the RTPI Northeast have put a tweet out here. They are promoting a webinar. They have tagged the Tees Valley Nature Partnership account on here, and then the Tees Valley Nature Partnership have responded and liked the tweet. Doing this is a really good way to build engagement. And with any social media engagement, it's a bit like a snowball effect. Starts at the top, there's a very tiny snowball, and as you get momentum and as you get engagement, that begins to snowball, becomes bigger and bigger, and it's a really good way to amplify your message. So that's a tip. And like you can see here, what the Tees Valley Nature Partnership have done is mixed up the various content that they are promoting. So you can see here that they have piggybacked on the back of an event. And as you come down here, you can see that they have, again, hijacked and piggybacked on the COP26 conference in November, and have got videos and are promoting their opinion on Twitter. In terms of the type of content across Twitter and social media, for me, when I work with clients, the key word to think of with any social media content is purpose. And you've got to really understand, what is the purpose of your social media content and what are you looking to achieve? Because I see it with lots of organizations across multiple sectors. People tweet for the sake of tweeting. And when you do that, you often find that your audience sometimes get bored, sometimes just become blind to the messages that you're promoting. So content relevancy is absolutely key. And I've spoken with Louise and Rachel, I think it was last year, and examples of really good content to promote on social media, and in particular Twitter, are images. So for example, within a nature partnership, you've got a really nice image, and please forgive me, I don't know a huge amount about animals, so I'm not going to embarrass myself and kind of start talking about animals here, but you can see a really visual image has got a good level of engagement. So even just putting a really crisp and clear image of any wildlife, of any nature reserve, is going to get engagement. Likewise as well, what is becoming more popular on social media is video, and recording video and posting on social media is a really good way to get your message out. Now, when we talk about video, people's often response is, "Oh goodness, I'm not a videographer. I don't know how to edit videos. I've not got a skill set." Whilst I can understand people's nervousness behind there, in terms of good quality video, recording a quick piece to camera on your iPhone, giving an opinion on, for example, the COP26 conference, or your review of this climate change webinar on the 8th of December, that is a really good way to get your message out. And videos can be recorded on a phone, a tablet, or a laptop. It doesn't need to be a Hollywood style production. As long as it's got good audio and the video and quality is okay, I would certainly recommend that putting video in your social media strategy is going to really pay dividends moving forward. So that's something that I would certainly recommend looking to do as you are kind of going through your social media strategy for December and for 2022 and beyond. From within the Twitter platform itself, so when you log into Twitter, here you can see the tweets, the area where you can start promoting your tweets. And again, with anything with Twitter, you've got a 280 character limit. So short, succinct messages and relevant content is going to be absolutely key. So I won't post this, but you can just start to type away. You've got the options here to easily attach your media. So media's video or imagery. And as well as that, you've also got some really good options such as polls. So a little quiz. And what you can do here is, this is a really good way to get quality feedback and to get engagement. So if you wanted to run a poll or garner the opinion of your audience, what you can really do within Twitter is to create a poll, put some multiple choice questions in there, run it for a certain time and tweet that out. And it's just a really good way to get engagement. So as an example, and what I've seen work well is for organizations, both private and the public sector, those that are often volunteer-led, at this time of year is, what do you want to get from the Tees Valley Nature Partnership in 2022? And your options could be more webinars, more in-person events, more videos, etc. And it's a really good way, not just to build your social strategy, but to help build your marketing and often sometimes your business strategy moving forward as well. So I'd certainly recommend adding polls to any social media post, any social media strategy moving forward as well. As well as that, on what you can see here as well is you've got your timeline here, and these are the tweets of people who you follow. So So whichever accounts you follow from the Tees Valley Nature Partnership, you can see all of the tweets here. You'll also see some adverts as well, and these can be easily distinguished by the little promoted tag at the bottom. And what is good to do is from within here, for example, a really lovely image there. You've got the ability to retweet it, to like it, and to comment on it as well. And in order to build engagement, Twitter at its heart is a social platform, and it's almost willing you to really engage with other users. So if you like this image, or you want to comment or piggyback on a conversation, then that's something that I would certainly recommend. You can do that by clicking into an image, and you've got the ability to tweet your reply, write your reply, and click reply, and then that the person who compiled this message will see that response. And it's a really good way to build engagement. It's a really good way to start that conversation as well. And it is as well from an outsider. What's really always good to see is that if you've got an account, and if you're looking at accounts that are continually engagement, because the one thing that we want to try and avoid is just almost Twitter becoming like a message board, where you've just got the Tees Valley Nature Partnership just posting post after post after post, but not engaging, not commenting on topics, etc. Does that all make sense so far? Cool.
Absolutely, yeah.
Good stuff. As well as that, as a quick tip, what you can also do as well is at the top, you've got this little star option here, and you can see top tweets, and you can edit content preferences. So you can start to mute accounts. You can almost start to display which tweets you want to see first on your timeline, which are going to be more relevant. That's just a kind of a quick tip. Another thing to do with Twitter is you've got something called hashtags, and for those that aren't aware of what a hashtag is, it's used to index keywords in topics, and it allows people and users to search based on interests. So, for example, I'm trying to think of a relevant hashtag here. So, for example, I don't want to go down the COVID route. So, for example, wildlife photography. So we can type in the hashtag wildlife photography, and we can see all of the posts that have been tagged with the post wildlife photography. And again, if you wanted to comment or view posts on this topic, then you just simply search for the hashtag and go from there. Where this is really good is that if for example, you are at a conference, and there's a conference called, I don't know, the Tees Valley Nature Partnership, AGM January 2022, whatever the hashtag is there, you can search for that hashtag, and you can see all of the people that have posted there. And that's a really good way of commenting on, piggybacking on that conversation. And like I say, there you can see what you call the top tweets, so the top tweets that have got the most engagement, the latest tweets, so kind of tweets coming in real time, the people and the accounts who are posting about this topic in particular, any photos and any videos as well. So again, piggybacking and what we call in the marketing kind of world, newsjacking, like I said, like jumping on a trend, is something that I would certainly recommend. It's a very good way of building engagement. So like I said, you've got hashtags there, and one thing I didn't mention is that when you are creating a tweet or a message on Twitter, it's really important to include relevant hashtags. Again, it just really helps amplify that message, and gives the ability for your tweet to be seen by all of the relevant organizations and all the relevant people. And likewise, tagging other accounts in there is a really good way, again, of amplifying that reach. So for example, if you've got an AGM or an event coming up and you wanted to tweet the local media to inform them that there's an event coming up, putting out a tweet, and then for example, the Northern Echo. So you can put out a tweet here, and tagging individuals, organisations there is a tactic that I would really utilise. And the good thing is, from a social media perspective, what you do find is that organisations do speak to each other. So if there's another nature partnership in Northumberland or in Tyne and Wear, for example, and you guys want to start collaborating on campaigns or events, just by tagging them in a post, you often hope that they're going to repeat the favour. And it's a really quick and easy way to amplify that reach, to really supercharge that level of engagement within Twitter. Does that all make sense?
Yep, definitely.
Okay. I mean, is there any questions so far? I appreciate I've waffled on for the last 17 minutes talking about Twitter and kind of jumped around a bit. Has anybody got any specific questions or queries that I could help with?
I found that really useful, because although I use Facebook all the time, I don't use Twitter at all. So thank you.
No problem. Like I say, Twitter's interesting. I would personally class Twitter as a network to really promote your news, and it's really good for events. It's really good for, again, hijacking that conversation, putting your opinion on there. So, for example, the COP26 event last in November, if you've got an event on opinion on there, you can essentially quote that tweet and then record or share your views on that, tag in your local MP, tag in the local newspaper, and it's a really good way of just pushing that message out there to a really wide audience. And like I say, the key with social media, it's social, it's about people. Engagement is absolutely the key. So that is...
Sorry, can I just ask, what sort of audiences would tend to use Twitter? Are there particular, I mean, you've made reference to organisations.
Yeah, so no, it's again, very valid question. So in terms of your Twitter audience, you get a lot of companies, organisations, so companies, businesses, news outlets, charities, individuals. So for example, if I kind of go from our business perspective, we as an organisation target directors, managing directors and marketing managers of corporate companies, and we can tag them in tweets. We can tag journalists in tweets to really get our message out there. And for example, if we look at the from the Tees Valley Nature Partnership perspective, you can see there that we've got again, we've got Timothy David Croshaw there as well, the Vice President of RTPI, and RTPI is an organisation are on Twitter as well. So we have the companies, and we also often have the individuals that belong and work for those organisations.
Yeah.
Like I say, another one there, you've got the Tees River Trust, and what you can often find is if you go on there, we're gonna start finding the stakeholders that work at the Tees River Trust, and it's a really good way to engage with people and a really good way to engage with those organisations. Okay.
Thank you.
No problem. That's everything on Twitter. Like I say, if there's more questions at the end about Twitter, please just jot them down and we can ask them now or ask them at the end, and happy to jump through them and go through them again. Okie doke. So the next account and platform we're going to look here at is Instagram. Now, Instagram is a social network where you can share photos and videos, and it's very much a visual platform. What you find with Instagram is that a lot of organizations and a lot of people who use Instagram use it via their mobile or their tablet. So if you're out at a nature reserve and there's some wildlife photography that you want to take, often what you find is that people behind these accounts, take a photo on the phone, use the Instagram app, and then upload the video or the image directly from their phone. However, you can upload it via a desktop. And for ease, I'm just going to show you kind of the desktop version. So what you have here is this is our Instagram feed. And very much just like Twitter, all of the people we follow on Instagram, we see their stories, we see their images in our timeline as well. So again, if we just look at the anatomy of an Instagram message, we can see that the Tees Valley Nature Partnership follow PD posts, and we have an image. We then have a message to accompany this image. So for example, say next Thursday there's an event and there's a live panel. And what's really important for Instagram is you have obviously hashtags. And again, it's very similar to what we're looking at Twitter. It helps us index words and key phrases and allows us to search for really relevant terms. Now, the one difference we have with Instagram is that when we are posting a message on Instagram, and I'll go to that in a moment, is that you don't include a link to your website in the actual post, because the link itself won't hyperlink and isn't clickable. So that's just something to bear in mind. So if, for example, I'll see if I can find an example here. And the good thing is I can't see one, which isn't a bad thing. So if we looked at this one here, so Nature England, absolutely lovely photograph there. We've got some text here and there is no link. And like I say, if you put a link here to the Tees Valley Nature Partnership, when somebody views this Instagram image on their phone or on their feed, they won't be able to click it and it won't direct them to the website. I'll show you how to put links in on your Instagram account, but that's just something to bear in mind. And there's often a thing I see on a regular basis, users putting in links on an Instagram post, but they're not clickable. In terms of what, when it comes to Instagram, in my professional opinion, the image in the video does all the talking. We don't need to litter it with text because, like I said, it's a very visual platform. I mean, this image there is a stunning image. And like I say there, a very quick caption explaining what this image is about and your key messages. So again, something that is just really succinct and again, straight to the point. Perfect example here. A museum, Starry Night above Victorian Street. Image does all the talking. Very quick description, and then we have our hashtags here, and again, relevant hashtags based on the topics that you're looking to really talk about. In terms of a post, so if we are scrolling Instagram and we like it and we want to comment on that post, again, just like Twitter, we can click add comment and post, and what we'll find is there is our comment will be associated with this post. And again, it really is as simple as that. We've also got the ability here to like this post. So again, Louise, if you don't mind, I'm just going to like this post here. So that's us just kind of really showing our gratitude and our appreciation of this post, and it's a really good thing. We've got to comment on this post, and we've also got the ability to send this post privately. So if Louise wanted to send this to Rachel, she could do that, click there and share this post to another organization, basically saying, hey guys, have you seen this post? It looks great. As an example, if there's an event. So if there's an event coming up in January, February, and you want to really notify this other organization or this other group of individuals, you can share this post privately, or you could comment on that post and again, tag somebody in that post. So this is our Instagram feed. And like I said here, this is all about adding images and videos to this social network as well. In terms of what you have here at the top is that you've got stories. So again, it's just really an interactive way of promoting your content. So if we look, for example, at Teesside Uni, essentially a story is just a compilation of images of different bits of content. So you can see there, Stockton Council have put a story here about, looks like their Christmas market as well. We've got is that Preston Park Museum? They're talking or sharing something about obviously reindeers in obviously in their courtyard, so on and so forth. So again, what you can do here is create a story, and again, I'll show you how to do that in a moment. What you also have here is that obviously on a profile, so when a user clicks onto a profile, this is what you see. So again, we have a logo, we have a very quick description as to what the Tees Valley Nature Partnership is all about. And this is where we have our link. So if we want people to click onto our website, to click into our blog, or to click onto a news article, whatever it might be, we need to include the link on the profile page just underneath the bio. Underneath that, we also have our images. So here we can see the images in the post that the Tees Valley Nature Partnership have posted. And again, what's really important from a engagement perspective is really clear, concise and compelling imagery, especially on Instagram. It's so important. So you can see there, lovely video there with Salt Home. And again, just get straight to the point. Because what you find is if it's got really engaging imagery, people respond to imagery. And the better the images, the better the content, the more engagement you're going to get. So again, it's all about content. It's all about relevancy. And again, as a quick tip, out and about, so kind of taking photos of wildlife, of nature and wildlife. But again, video interviews, talking about your views on certain topics, posting short clips from an AGM or an event. Content like that is absolutely fantastic and is very well received within social media. And like I say there, if it's relevant content and it's engaging content, you can bet your bottom dollar that other organizations and other individuals are going to comment, share it and engage with it. So at the top here, we've got posts. Again, we've got the videos. You can also, if you really wanted to, you can save content. So you can see content that you've really liked and you want to kind of keep referring back to. Often a good way for inspiration. So when you save photos and videos, as it says here, only you can see what you've saved. So what I do from a works perspective is if I see really good content, I think actually I want to try and replicate that for my business. I would save that content and keep referring back to it and using that as inspiration. And likewise as well, you can also see posts that you've been tagged in. Again, this is a really good thing. So if you're getting tagged in posts, then it means obviously that you're an authority leader within the industry. People are referring to you and want to engage with you. So that's a really, really good thing. So in terms of adding content and adding a post to Instagram here, like I said, the majority of people who use Instagram do so via a mobile phone or a tablet. You can do it via a desktop. And what you find, and I'm going to show you how to do it via a desktop. So you've got a little plus icon here in the top of the page. Clicking that plus icon here will allow us to create a new post. And I'm just going to use a random image. We work with a furniture company, so appreciate this isn't totally relevant. So what we can do here is that we can start to crop images, so kind of just really optimize them. change the dimensions of the images. We can add more than one image. So if you wanted to, if you're out and about and you've got a host of different wildlife photography that you want to put on there, there's a little plus icon in the bottom right, and then we can just add a couple of images. And then with Instagram, you've got a really helpful kind of wizard at the top here that allows us to click next. And what we can do here, if you want to get really artistic and creative, you can start adding filters. So if you wanted to change the style of the image, often as a way of filtering, if you took a photo and it's a bit dark and you want to bring it to life, you can add different filters here to help really edit your image and bring it to life. And again, if you want to get really creative, you've got the adjustments here where you can start to tinker and tweak the brightness, the contrast, the saturation, etc. Again, I would often, you can go a bit crazy here, but often if you're taking good images, then the image is going to speak for themselves, and you're not often going to need to have that level of filtering or adjustment. The final point is here is when you come to create your post here, you can write your caption here. So again, I'm just going to write test. You can write as much as you want. You can, oops, goodness, sorry. You can add a hashtag, add as many hashtags as you want. And what you find is when you come to add a hashtag, Instagram will auto populate what the most popular hashtags are. So for example, you can see nature, that's 683 billion posts about nature, I think that's billion. Again, nature geography, nature lover, nature shots, nature life, etc. And you can start to add as many hashtags as you want as well. You can also start to tag people in an image. So if you wanted to, for example, tag Tees Active or the Tees River Trust, for example, we could tag them in an image, and then they're going to become notified of our latest post on Instagram. You can also, if you wanted to, add your location. So if you're out at Saltholm, for example, and you want to say you're at Saltholm, then again, it's a really good way. You can just put in the postcode, the address, or whereabouts you guys are. Again, you've got some advanced settings there, so you can turn off commenting. So if you don't want people to comment on your posts, because unfortunately you do find you get something called trolls, people just leaving horrible, sarcastic comments that serve absolutely no purpose, just to really inflate their ego. If you want to avoid that and to avoid getting into a bit of a spat or have negative comments, then we can turn off commenting. Again, that's entirely down to personal preference, to be fair. I mean, what you guys are posting, in my mind, isn't going to be too isn't going to kind of cause too much conjecture in that regard. So once you've created your post and you're happy with the images, you're happy with your caption, you simply click share. I won't do that now. And once you've done that, then your post is going to appear on your timeline and on the timeline of the other people or organizations that follow your account. And like I said here with Instagram, it's about video and photo sharing. So the key tips are concise, clear imagery and video with the purpose that your audience are going to find engaging. And I think with the type of work that you guys do, wildlife photography, nature photography lend itself fantastically well to Instagram. And then don't forget to tag other organizations, other stakeholders, other people in there to really amplify your reach. Has anybody got any questions or queries I can help with?
With Instagram, you don't have the ability to repost somebody else's post or share it, as you can retweet a tweet on Twitter, as you can share a post on Facebook. I understand you can send it, but if I wanted to share it to somebody else's account. You don't have that ability on Insta, do you?
Yeah, no, that's correct. The only way you can do that is you've got this little share icon. It's like an arrow pointing in a
Yeah, it sounds like a message, doesn't it?
right direction. Yeah, so you can send that to Festival of Thrift, for example.
Yeah,
and click send and write a message.
That would appear as a message to those. It wouldn't appear on their timeline, would it?
Correct. Yes.
That's fine.
When you get a message as well, you'll also get a little one here. So
yeah.
If you click on there, you can see the messages that have come in.
Okay.
And as soon as you get notified of you've been tagged in a comment, for example, a little red icon will appear underneath this heart.
Yeah.
Icon in the top right corner.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions or queries from anyone?
No, that's good.
No problem. So for the final part, I'm going to move on to Facebook. So probably the most commonly known and widely known social media platform is Facebook. And I'm going to show you two views here. So this is a view that a user is going to see. So someone who is interested in your page, and then I'll show you the view of kind of what editors of that page can see and what they can do in different types of posts that they can post. So again, with any social media, the key to this is really good, relevant content. So again, in terms of content, you've got to think of your written content and your visual content. So what we have here at the top is a banner and headline photo. And again, from experience, something that is really compelling and is really going to grab the audience attention, I would certainly recommend having it front and center. It's kind of it's your free advertising. And then we have our logo in the top left. On the left-hand side here, you've got a series of tabs. Now, these tabs can be edited based on what how you want to set up your page. So we've got groups, posts, reviews, videos, photos, events, etc. And what you'll find is the more you look on different Facebook pages for companies, then their tabs are going to be slightly different. And what I would do is, if you guys have a shop or have events, for example, or want to kind of start putting reviews on Facebook, then I would certainly make sure that your tabs are all relevant. And again, tabs are just a really good way of segmenting the different types of content that you're posting on Facebook. And I'll come on to tabs in a wee moment. We then have our posts in the middle of the page in the timeline here. So you can see here that the Tees Valley Nature Partnership, we talked about COP26. Again, we've got content here, we've got links, and we've got an image. And again, with any social media, appreciate it, repeat this a few times, concise messaging, succinct messaging, good quality content, and we're going to be on to a winner. So in the types of content that you see on Facebook, you've got still images, videos, links to your website as well. So you can see there, and then on the right-hand side here, we've got a bit of an about us, again, which is kind of almost like a yellow pages listing. So again, we can have a phone number, you can connect WhatsApp. So if you guys like to communicate with your customers and your stakeholders via WhatsApp, you can connect WhatsApp and Facebook. They're owned by the same company. You've got your website, you've got a bit about us, you've got ours, and we can also edit this as well. And we've also got a location, so it tells you where your organization is based. So that's kind of what an outsider and someone's kind of looking into your page sees. If we were to go onto the Facebook platform here, this is what Louise and the guys at the Valley Nature Partnership are going to see. So what we can see here is at the top here, we've got the ability to edit images. And Facebook is relatively, it's point and click. So you often find you've got some really big buttons there, which are helpful. If you want to change an image, click edit, click on it, and then you can go from there. You've also got some prime real estate here. So you've got something that says here, edit, learn more. What you can do here is you can edit your buttons. So if you wanted to direct people to a website, direct people to an Eventbrite page, you've got the ability to do that. And it's a case of what I see really well is organizations and people really changing this button on a regular basis, just to test things, really, just to test what works and see how many click-throughs you get from Facebook to your website or to your blog. You've also here got the tabs. So here you can see groups, jobs, events, and more. And what you can do here is we can edit tabs. So we can show you what we want to kind of put on our page. So for example, services, shop. So if you guys sell memberships and you want to kind of get people to buy memberships via Facebook, what you can do is you can add a shop and direct people to your website. And what also works well is you've got live. So if you're hosting a live event, if you're hosting a very quick, brief Q&A, you can enable this and then you can shoot videos live so people can watch in real time. And again, all of these tabs here come down to personal preference. It all depends on how you guys want to use Facebook, what's going to be best for your organization. We then have on the middle there, we've got the ability to create a post. And again, you can create posts via a desktop, a laptop, a tablet, or a mobile. Different people use kind of different mechanics to do this. But when you're creating a post, there's a few kind of quick wins we can really achieve. So what we have is we can write our post again, and we can add emojis, etc. And you've also got something called add to our post. And if you click on the three dots here we can add a photo. We can get something called get messages. So what this will do is we're essentially putting a call to action here. So if we want to say, what do you want to get from the Tees Valley Nature Partnership at our AGM in January 2022, we're encouraging people to interact, to send a message, to send a private communication to the guys so they can answer it, and you can start to build it that way. Likewise, you've also got, if you wanted to have a feeling or activity that kind of tells people how you are, raise money. So again, if you wanted people to donate to a chosen charity, you've got the ability to do that. Get WhatsApp messages. So more and more people now are engaging with organizations through WhatsApp. And if you want somebody to click on a Facebook post and send someone a WhatsApp messages, you can do that. Likewise, you've got the ability to get calls. So what you can do here is we've added a call to action here for a phone number. So if you wanted for people to ring in and speak to them on the phone, you can do this, and then people click on this on Facebook, and then it'll just auto call them from the phone. With the call now, we need to add a photo or a video. Another one there is host a Q&A. So again, as an example, it's a bit like a poll on Twitter, really. So what it's saying here is I'm answering questions about whatever it might be. So again, the example I use, because I've seen it work really well, is what do you want to see from us in January 2022 and beyond? So we post this there, and then people can comment their questions, give us their thoughts. We can take that in, and then we can message them straight back. So it's a really good way to build, interaction. What you've also got here at the bottom is something called boosted post. Now, a boosted post is a form of paid for advertising. So what we're doing here, so when we're posting organically through Facebook, it's free, we're not charged. But if we wanted to boost this post, what we can do is we can pay Facebook a little bit of money, and then we can start to build an audience. So if we wanted to target people in Teesside who have an interest in nature, who are between the ages of 20 and 65, we can show our message to those people. So if we wanted to kind of put the turbo boosters and kind of get this message out to as many people as we want, then boosting a post is a really good way of doing that. And again, it's like I say, it's a paid for service. And generally with Facebook, you pay either on a daily basis, on a budget, or on a budget basis. So you could have a £100 budget for the month, or you could have a £5 daily budget. And with any kind of form of paid advertising, the more you pay, the further your post's going to go. And at the end of the day, Facebook, whilst it's a social network, is also there to make money. So Facebook will often encourage you to put more money behind it just to boost your post. But again, I'll go through that in a bit more detail later on. So once you've created our post and posting it, that again goes out to the big wide world, and then people who like your page and follow your page are going to see your content. What you've also got as well here is you've got the ability to create. So you've got something called live. So if you guys were hosting a live Q&A and you wanted to kind of just record your conversation and just and promote it as it happens through Facebook, you've got the ability to do that through Facebook Live. Likewise, if you wanted to create an event directly on Facebook, so again, it could be an online or it could be in person. You've got the ability there to, a bit like Eventbrite, have a name, start date, description, any other information as well. So again, you can create an event via Facebook. You've also got the ability to, if you are looking to recruit for volunteers, you can post a job directly through Facebook, and you can get title, job description, etc. Have screening questions and get people to send CVs and apply via Facebook, and then you'll get notifications that way. Again, a good way if you're looking for volunteers. It's a really good way to kind of drum up interest and just get a job post on Facebook. And you've also got an offer. So again, if there's an e-commerce element to it, so if you wanted to say sell calendars or stuff for charity as well, then you can create offers on Facebook. So for example, they'll get 50% off our January 2022 calendar, whatever that might be, and you can post offers directly in Facebook and get people to engage and purchase via Facebook. So first from there, and again, there's a few other bits and bobs. Again, an advert, which again I'll come on to in a bit more detail in a moment. So like I said, this is what we can create within Facebook. And then all of our published content appears here. So like I say, unlike Instagram, we've got more free reign. We can add text, we can add links, but the premise of having good quality content, clear, concise imagery is super important. And when we post a video or an image, that will then live in the photo library, in the video library within Facebook as well. Within a post as well, if you've seen a post that you like, you can comment again on that post, leave videos if you wanted to, click tag other organizations in it. So I could tag a friend of mine, for example, and then he would get a notification to say he's been tagged on this post. Again, that's good for if you see an event on Facebook from another nature partnership that you want to attend, or from or whatever that might be. Tagging a person or a company in there is a really good way just to kind of notify them of what's happening. You can also share a post. So again, you can share this post to a page. You can share it to any groups that you're on with Facebook, or yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, you've got your information there. You see your post there. And on your left-hand side here, this is the About Us section, and you can see here that the guys at Tees Valley Nature Partnership have done everything they need to do. They've got their address. They've got a very short blurb and bio. The website's there, phone number, send message, email address, opening hours, and they're just kind of a bit of a categorization, tagging them that they're an environmental organization. So that is, that's that very quick run through on Facebook. Are there any questions on this so far? Okay, what I'm going to do now is show you guys how to boost a post, and this is kind of a quick way of advertising, like I say, turbo boosting your reach and getting this out there to a really wide audience. So once you've posted something on Facebook, and if we look at this COP26 one there, and we wanted to get this message out to the whole of the Tees Valley region, what we can do here is click Boost Post. And what we can do is we can get really quite clever. So we can have a goal. We can figure out what do we want people to do. Do we want to get more website visitors? Do we want to get more engagement? Do we want to get more people messaging us? I would often say that engagement is a really good thing. If we just want to amplify our messages and get it out there, engagement is a good goal in that regard. We can then as well have buttons. So, for example, learn more, shop now, sign up. Some of these aren't relevant. Some of these are tailored towards e-commerce businesses. But again, these are just kind of the off-the-shelf options that are available via the Facebook platform. And then here we've got the audience. So this is where we can get really quite clever and really quite targeted. So within an audience, what we can do here is pick an age range. And then as well, we've got the ability to target locations. So we could target based on postcode. So I'll put my postcode in for now. There. So what we can do here is we can target a region. And when we're doing that, we are essentially promoting this post to people in this region who are interested in sustainable products, wildlife, so on and so forth, sustainable energy. And again, it's a really good way of getting a message out there. And we can target based on city or by postcode. So for example, if we wanted to do Stockton, on Tees, is it? Yeah, Borough of Stockton on Tees. So again, we're targeting people within a 25-mile-kilometre radius of Stockton. We should be able to tailor that down. Let's try that one. And what you can do here is you can, because it automatically adds a 25-kilometre radius to your location. So if you want to become like really hyper-targeted, you can just really bring that down. So you're only targeting certain sections, certain regions. So once we've got that, we can also then start to do some detailed targeting. So people who are interested in, for example, wildlife refuge, for example. So what we're doing is we're starting to really pick up on our audience. So people who are interested in wildlife, energy, wildlife refuge, who are based in the borough of Stockton between the ages of 26 and 65 onwards. And what we can have here is that our estimated audience size is between just under 100,000 and 117,000. So we're targeting a big group of people there. And what we can do is save the audience. And then what we've got as well here, as we go down, we've got duration. So how long we want our boosted post to last for. We've then got a total budget. So if we wanted to do £14 a day, tailor that to £7 a day, your total budget will be £7 running for 7 days. Add a payment method, click boost post, and what that'll do is this is going to kind of turbocharge our post about our thoughts of the COP26 conference. And that's just really a good way of getting our message out there to such a big, wide audience. Again, a really good way, again, like I say, it's just a really good way of getting the message out there if you wanted to promote an event, or if you're running a survey and you wanted to get as many views as you want. I've seen this work really well from a survey perspective. So if you wanted to get the views of everyone in the Tees Valley region on their thoughts on wildlife or COP26, that matter, then what you can do is create a survey, put it on Facebook, boost that post, and get as many recipients and submissions as you possibly can. Again, a good way of doing it, and something that can be done really relatively quickly. So that is so yeah, that is that on Facebook. And then the final thing on Facebook on the left-hand side here, this is where you can start to edit your page. So you've got a lot of different options here. And there's a really good thing here called resources and tools. So if you've got a business page, you've got resources and tools here. If you click on there, that'll give you access to like the Facebook library, a Facebook help desk, a knowledge base of articles, which can really help you get more from Facebook. You've also as well, if you wanted to get kind of start deep diving into your statistics, what you can do is you can click on Insights, and you can start to see how many people are liking your page, how many people are following your page, how people are interacting with your content. So it can kind of really start, you guys can start to see how people are engaging with your page and your content. And really that's, there's obviously a lot with Facebook, but I've just tried to keep it at a very top level for now. Has anybody got any questions, queries, thoughts, comments on Facebook or anything else for that matter?
Going back to Instagram, you said that you couldn't share a web link on Instagram, and you said you would show us. Now maybe you missed when you said you would show us. Yeah, of course,
no problem. So if we just go back to Instagram, like I said, you can put a link on a post, but it's not going to be clickable.
Right.
If you put, for example, www.bbc.co.uk on there, it won't hyperlink. So your audience are probably furiously typing away and trying to click a link.
Yeah.
It won't take them anywhere. Mm-hmm. So what you'll often find is in Instagram posts, you might have seen the term link in bio, link in biography.
Yes.
So your link in your bio is going to your profile here.
Yeah.
You've got your link here, so you can start to edit your profile.
Yeah, that makes
your bio, your website.
Perfect. Okay.
There is also as well. It's a good question. I'm just going to show you this. It's a system called Linktree.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what you can do here is, appreciate I'm jumping around a bit here, but you can start this for free. And with Linktree, what this does is it's kind of like a filing system for links. So you'll have one link for Linktree, but when you click on Linktree, it'll give you an option to click on, say, your Facebook page, your website, your blog, whatever it might be. So you have a Linktree link here.
Yeah.
You click on the Linktree link, and then that opens up like a diary or a catalog of different links that people can click on.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another really quick and a really good tip to kind of get to kind of promote as many links as you can within Instagram.
Lovely. Okay, thank you.
No problem. Put my camera back on so I can see everybody. Is there anybody got any other questions? Anything else I can run through or go through again?
Do you think our websites moving, further away from people's from relevance, if you like? Is social media taking over as opposed to it's a difficult one. Companies have websites.
Yeah.
People other than commerce websites, are people taking a lot of notice of company
websites? Good question. Because we build websites, I'm often minded.
The answer is yes.
Because we build websites and write websites and do a lot of work on service-based websites and informational websites. It is because when it comes to social proof, and this goes across the whole board, and this may tell you more about me and perhaps my generation, that if someone sends me an email, if I see someone on Facebook, I'm always going to go and qualify that by looking at our website.
Mm-hmm.
In the social media, the way I view it is it should be kind of a signpost to your website, because you can't cover everything on social media. As important as it is, and there's the amount of people that will be watching the telly and will be sitting on the metro, on the bus, scrolling through Facebook on social media, and then clicking on a link, which could be to a blog or a help article that takes people to your website. So I would say, yes, your websites are super important as well. And with any website, the way Google works is it's all about, the word I've probably repeated more so than any time else in this call is relevancy. Yep. It's got to be relevant to your audience. It's all about relevancy, because if something's relevant, people are going to engage with it. Yep. If somebody's expecting to go on Facebook, see wildlife photography, are really interested, then click on your link on your website, and there's nothing about wildlife photography, they're just going to bounce off.
Yeah.
So it's everything across your marketing and all your promoting and your advertising. That relevancy is so important.
Thank you.
Yeah, one thing that I was going to say is that I'd used on Facebook, I'd used the Boost funding, and when I'd used that was when we were applying for funding from Tesco. We needed many people to vote for us in a small area, and the community group that I was working with, they did use that, and it was quite cheap. It did get a wide reach. But what we found when we look at the analytics for anything, it seems to be when things go through the roof is when people share them, when other people share it and their network. So it's getting people to share stuff. And then so that was the big thing. But how when I used to run quite a lot of events, I used Facebook a lot, because that was where we were mainly appealing to families, and that was the site they were using. Is if we put it on our own thing, we didn't get very many. So what we mainly did is made sure, and it'd take about a day or so, where you would put it on other forums, or you would ask people to put it on there. So often, like say it was Linforth, it would say it was an event at Linforth Nature Reserve, we'd get it on the Acklam News, the Linforth, the things, people who I don't know, there were school sites, different things, and that's where we got it was almost like hijacking other networks, and particularly for reaching new audiences.
Of course it is. Yeah, it's like you say, Sue, you're absolutely right there. It's that analogy you use at the start with Twitter. It's kind of, if you've got a snowball at the top of a mountain, once you push it down the slope, it just gathers momentum and gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And that boosted posts is a great way to do it. But like you say, if you have a post about an event, and that Tesco example is good, because I've used that. I play cricket, and we use Tesco funding, we use Barclays funding and other types of funding. And other than boosting posters, what you can do is if I comment on it, and then my uncle comments on it, and his friend comments on it, and then his friend comments on it, you're starting to build that momentum, that snowball effect really, really quickly. And with social media, people, it's social. It's about people. It's about engagement. And what you find is the people who you're friends with, dare I say, you're going to have similar interests, and the people they're friends with are going to also have similar interests. So you're singing you're preaching to the converted there in many respects. And what you've done is you've shared a really good point of the group there, is getting that message out there. And essentially, if it's relevant, it's a really good way of just building that. And if you can engage there, and if you've got a loyal following, and if you tweet or message from your personal accounts, and your friends and your relatives all jump on it, happy days. That's a really good way of getting.
But one thing that I've learned today is, I think a change that I'm going to make is, in the old days we used to do posters, probably before you were born, Chris, used to do posters and stick them up. And the thing is, I think, like at the Wildlife Trust, we still have that approach, that we do a poster, like in Publisher and things, and then put it on Facebook, and that's what I'm doing. And I'm thinking it's really text heavy. And now I'm thinking, I've seen someone else who I might think have a few pictures, like a rolling thing. I'm going to use, I really do need to use film more, and it might not be what I've seen people do is not necessarily film, but sometimes having like sliding photographs that look like film. Perfect. So have you got any tips on that?
Well, I've just in this chat, in the Zoom chat, the guys can see it, I've put a link to something called Canva.
Oh yes. Oh, I've heard of that. Someone recommended me that.
So I'll quickly share my screen. So bear with me, because this has got all of my
I've seen we've got someone who uses it on a group with Roseworth, and I thought, wow, that's really good. And I asked her what she used.
No worries. So Canva is, again, I'm just going to share my screen. I'm going to knock my video off 2 moments and hide this.
I'm writing that down.
So Canva is a free tool. There is a paid version, which we as an organisation pay for, but nonetheless, it's a free tool. And this is really good, because what you can do here is you can use templated Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, video, covers, posters, whatever you want. It's probably on Canva. And again, I won't go through Canva in all detail, because I'll probably be here till about 6 o'clock now. I'll probably send you all to sleep. So on Canva, once you log in, you can create a design. And for example, if you wanted to create a Facebook post, what you can do here is that it automatically gives you a blank canvas of the size of the Facebook post. So we're already onto a winner. You can then, on the left-hand side, you've got some templated posts there. So for example, Black Friday, you can drag that in, and you can start to work over what's there.
That is fab.
And then on the left-hand side, you've also got the ability to add images, so you can upload images. So if you wanted to just upload an image, do that again. Excuse me, the window cleaner is just outside, so if you hear lots of rattling, it's the window cleaner. So you can add images to your post, and then you can add text to it. Some of it is, like, again, templated there, but again, you've got subheaders as well, which you can drag in. So you can start to get really creative there. And like I said, it's free. You can spend hours on this. You can add logos, audio, so some music overlays there, different elements, lines and shapes, etc. But for me, what's really good is you've got templated Facebook, you've got templated posts there, which you can just drag in, change the images, and go from there. So for example,
let's see.
So as an easy one, and something that I've done is, if you probably in 22 days time, we're going to have a Merry Christmas post on your Facebook page. So instead of designing something in whatever system you use, go to Canva, use a Facebook there, change the text, Merry Christmas from the Tees Valley Nature Partnership, and put the logo in the corner, change the colour, put a photo of Santa Claus on if you want, anything along those lines. So that is a quick way of generating content. And like I say, it's not just Facebook. The benefit of Canva is you can create a design. You've got an Instagram post, a video, a presentation, a Facebook video, YouTube, Twitter, animated social media. There's a whole heap of stuff you can do there. And I mean, as well as that, you've also got presentation. So if you guys do, like, say, PowerPoint presentation. This isn't a replacement for Microsoft PowerPoint. It doesn't have all of the bells and whistles, but you can create it there, and you can just visualize it and use a templated kind of template from Canva.
Oh, brilliant! Thank you very much.
No problem. So yes, it's a free account. You can just sign up. You've got to put an email address in. You can pay for an account, which we do from our work's perspective. There's a few different benefits. You get more designs. You can essentially you're unlocking more features. But truthfully, if you're kind of just starting out on Canva, I wouldn't go for the paid version straight away. I would just use the free version and go from there.